Hi there, this is Mike Davis, and today I'd like to tell you a story about something that happened in America almost 100 years ago. Have you ever noticed that sometimes something that's mostly good comes out of a challenge? In the 1930s, the United States was in the middle of a tremendous challenge. You know what I'm talking about. We had a worldwide depression. People were out of work, people were hungry, farms and factories and businesses were going under. It was a dire situation. Now, the president at the time, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, had the idea that the federal government could help with that by creating employment and solve another problem at the same time, which was that our infrastructure needed a lot of work at that time. A lot of farms had been mismanaged as far as the management of the soil, for example. You might have read about that in The Grapes of Wrath. And there were a lot of places where large forests had been clear cut by logging companies, big, beautiful forests that were just gone. And so the idea, one part of the idea, was that we would form a group of young men who would be organized along quasi-military lines. They would live in barracks in remote areas, and they would build things and they would fix things. And they did. It was just incredible. The group was called the Civilian Conservation Corps. They built roads and bridges, shelters and buildings, fire observation towers, observation decks where people could look out over the mountains. And the Army offered training and supplies and equipment that were left over from World War I. It's just absolutely remarkable what they accomplished. They built all that stuff. They also planted millions and millions of trees all over the country, and there were places where the land had been denuded, and today there are beautiful, lush forests there. One of them is close to where I live. Well, their families had to be really proud of them, don't you think? They sent money home. They did a beautiful thing. They gave us all a really great gift. 6 years ago, my wife Paula and I moved to Appalachia. The mountains here are incredibly beautiful. They're different from other mountains. They're much older than most other mountains. They're softer, they're lower. And if you remember in an earlier video, I mentioned that in South Florida, where I grew up, the light is vivid and sharp, and it just makes everything shine really brightly. In the Smoky Mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, it's not like that at all. The light is soft and warm, and it makes the mountains look pastel. The forests are browns and greens that just glow with the light, and they reflect it. It's an incredibly beautiful place. And since we've moved here, we have hiked all over the place. It was part of the reason that we came here. And we've seen the work that the Civilian Conservation Corps did here, because their handiwork is still there, and it's still standing, and it's still solid as a rock. Isn't that an incredible thing? Is this a spiritual vortex? Well, you tell me. Come visit sometime. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that it was a mostly good thing. There was one element of the Civilian Conservation Corps that wasn't good at all, and that was the fact that it was only open to white men. Well, that was not good. That was not right. And if we ever do something like that again, and in a way I hope that we will, and in another way I really hope that we don't have to because of something like a depression, I trust and I pray and I affirm that we as a nation and a world will have the wisdom and the vision to be inclusive and open and give everybody a chance at this. I pray that we will have the wisdom and the vision to give everybody a chance at everything that they want and need in their lives, and an experience in which they can contribute something really beautiful to the world. Hey, thanks for watching. See you soon.